Good morning guys, it's Rachelle from Lane Furniture again in not so sunny Sydney, and it feels so good. The last few days have been a stinker. I'm looking extra special today. Who cares? Who cares? I've got a bra on. That's better than most days, so we'll just run with that. So today we're working on this girl. The white bedsides have sold already. Customer doesn't have room for this one, so we've got free range again. Let's get in there. Right, so obviously you've seen these before really. The bedsides are exactly the same. It's solid, but I would say it's solid MDF because it's so heavy. It's ridiculously heavy. So there's a few areas that I just need to smooth out here. Not anything that I'm concerned about, but even that shows you that it's MDF. Oh, there, it's MDF. It's all flaky. But it's so heavy. Again, I'm going to leave the drawer pulls as they are. They're really, really lovely, and they look so good on the bedsides without me touching them. I'll sand the top in the same way, but I'm not doing this one white. I'm going to stick with quite a neutral colour, and at this point I'm going with Fossil. So this is Pure Eco Fossil in the silk. Looks to me to be very similar to Carts and Millie cookies that I did the other week that sold instantly. I don't have any cookies left or enough to do this, so I'm going to go with the Fossil. And I'll probably do Carts and Millie How Now stain on the top. You know me though, this could change as we go, so don't hold me to anything. But this is today's project. Oh, and I need to head back to Bunnings today. I'm really annoyed. I got the what's that called? I got the compressor all out and ready to set up. Thought I was going a bit nuts. I had to actually bring my husband out to have a look and say, how do I put this bloody hose on? It doesn't come with the couplings. Neither the compressor nor the gun nor the hose came with the fittings to actually fit the hose onto it. So I just need to get a male and female coupling or something. So I need to go back to Bunnings for that. So I'm not playing with it today. I don't think I should anyway. I look too tired. I'd probably end up just ruining everything. Look at me. This is a pyjama top, obviously. Covered in paint already. I haven't even started. So that's from a previous job. Anyway, rambling again. I know some of you like it. Some of you hate it. Whatever. If you could like and subscribe, guys, please. I would really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to painting in this cooler weather today. I really am. Right, I'm going to go and have my breakfast, then I'm going to come back out and get the sander out. Right, it's time to get sanding. As is always the case, I'm going to sand the top first with a 120 grit. This is the sander I use. I show it in every video. This is the video. It's the Bosch Professional, excuse me, GEX 125 AVE. It's really professional, it's really powerful, and it catches all the dust really well. So this is my favourite, and I use the 120 grit because it's powerful. If I was using a less powerful one, like the one I had before, which was a Zito battery powered one, then I used to go down to 80 grit for that. Just a quick heads up as well, I've just set up a group on Facebook called Lane Furniture Friends. The reason I've done that is I get so many comments on these videos talking about pieces that they've done or doing, and I don't get a chance to see them because you can't add photos to YouTube, and it's really frustrating me. So if you head over there, I think I set it up as an open group, Lane Furniture Friends. Just come and join and share all your pieces there, please. That would be great. Okay, I'm gonna get on with sanding this, and then we'll get some paint on it. So it's coming off really nicely. It's the same as it did with the bedsides. One thing I just wanted to point out is this is a veneer. There's no doubt about it. The whole thing is MDF, I believe, or chipboard, whatever. It's solid anyway. I'm assuming it's the MDF. So when you're sanding a veneer, you just need to be really careful. People ask me, how do you prep a veneer piece? Veneer is just thin wood, so there's no difference to prepping for painting. You just have to be really careful when you're sanding that you don't go through. And on the bedside, I almost did on the edges, and I can just see a tiny spot here where I'm on the cusp of going through. So you just have to be really careful, and you don't want to have to over sand. So making mistakes on this where you would normally say, oh, I'll just sand it back off, is not really an option. You just have to be careful. But in terms of prep, it's no different. Right, I'll get on and finish this. I don't think you need to watch me do any more, and then I'll come back when I'm ready to throw some paint on it. That came out really nicely. Now I'm just going to take these drawer pulls off. Like I said, I'm not going to touch them. They look really nice on the bedsides, as they were. They're like new, they're beautiful. So I'll just take these off, put them in a baggie, and put them back on when we're done. I'm a bit breathless today, guys, sorry. I've talked about that before. Sometimes it's because my vocal cord nerve damage. Sometimes it's because of my anxiety, but it's just one of those things. I don't feel anxious. I just get breathless. But it's always coupled with this little cough that I get. So it's a bit of a double-edged sword. Right, I'll carry on taking these off. And this time when I'm doing the stain on the top of this one, because this lip is so tight, and if you remember watching the other one, when I put the stain on it, it went onto the paint. So I'm either going to tape off this, probably tape, but I hate taping, or I'll rub Vaseline around this, which is another tip I've just heard about. I'll probably tape, but the Vaseline is good for mirrors and glass. So there's another tip for you. I've changed my mind about the colour. It happens all the time. As I was doing this, I was thinking that's a real dark colour. Sorry, that's a real dark colour, and the fossil is really light, and I can't be bothered to prime today. I want a fast one. So I've had this a while, haven't used it. It's Silk, which is the Dixie Belle brand, all-in-one mineral paint in Hampton Olive. I've seen others use this and it looks beautiful. I've never used this particular colour. I'll definitely go with a Carts and Millie stain. I just don't know which one yet, so I'm not making any promises. I'll change as I go, but this is what I'm going in with. I just thought I'd show you, hopefully you can see. So this is the area that I was saying the drawer was damaged, and let's see, hopefully it's not a huge amount of damage, but it does show that it is particle board, or I don't know the differences, to be honest. But if I was to not do anything with that, that's just going to carry on free, and I'm not even going to show you too much. If I push it that way, you can see it's sort of coming apart, but with the paint on it, it'll hold together. So as long as I get the shape that I need, I'll be right. And a little bit different this time, I'm not going to scuff sand, because this is really smooth. It's a really shiny finish. I'm actually going to, I'll clean it, and I'm actually going to use this ESP Easy Surface Prep. I got this from Bunnings, I'm not sure where else you can get it from. No more sanding, firmly bonds paint to any glossy surface, even glass, wipe it on, wipe it off, paint after 90 minutes. So it basically gives you the finish that you need to paint straight over, without scuff sanding. The reason I'm going to do that is because it's so glossy. You risk when it's really glossy that when you're scuff sanding it, that you actually create marks, so you end up creating more work for yourself. So I'm just going to give this a go. Just wipe it on, wipe it off, and come back. So this isn't water-based. This stuff stinks. It's not nice. Don't use anything that you want to keep, any cloths that you want to keep. Just check them after. So I'm back with some old undies. So just dab it on and rub it in. And it basically dries to a rough surface. I suppose it's like rubbing on glue, maybe. Not really glue, but you know, it will just dry to give you a really good surface to paint on. The only thing for me, because I flip so often, so much, and I do one piece in a day, I have to wait 90 minutes before I can paint, which doesn't seem long to some, I know, but for me it is. But I think this is going to be the best option for this one. There's other ones that you can get as well. There's I know Vintage Bird have got one, I think it's called BSP. I'm not sure about other, and that one might be water based, which I would prefer, but don't quote me on that, I haven't used it, but I will look into that, because this is nicer than sanding. And if you don't want to scuff up the surface, I mean, your scuff sand isn't really, you don't really scuff it much, you're just taking the shine off. But with this, you're just making it matte, really. I think that's probably the best description. You're just making it matte. Anyway, I'll carry on doing the rest of this and come back when I'm ready to paint. Right, ready for paint. Whilst this was drying, I headed over to Bunnings to fix up what I needed for the sprayer. So the hose I got yesterday wasn't the best option. I kind of figured this out for myself. To be honest, they weren't very helpful. So I've got this coil one. This is 10 meter rather than 15 meter. I didn't need 15 meter, and it's thinner and it will spring back. It still doesn't have the attachments that I need. So this is the attachment I think I need. So it's a 1/4 inch and then Nitto style. I don't know what that means, but the girl did at the counter did say that was the one. So we're gonna try that. And then I got a stand for it because I was watching on Brush by Brandy last night, and her husband were talking about the different types of spray guns and how this one is difficult, or this style, because you can't just lay it down in between coats because they'll topple over. So I got one of these. This is about 10 bucks, I think. So now I'm gonna get my husband to set all that up, because I've got to be honest, I'm even scared to switch it on. So he's gonna look at it tonight for me. Then when he's switched it on and I know we're right, then I'll run through it all with you. Anyway, I digress, as usual. What do I do with a brush? There. So I'm still going with Hamptons Olive. I was actually thinking of different colours again. Decision making isn't great when I'm a little bit anxious. I just go from one idea to the next. Anyway, right, Hampton Olive looks to me to be very similar to Fusion Bayberry. I haven't used this, so I can't comment. Fusion Bayberry is stunning. One thing I've noticed with these ones, when you open them, that's a layer, that's just skin. I suppose that's the top coat. I don't know. Anyway, mix it up. Give it a good mix. Yeah, it's not because there's the white thing that goes on top. That was literally just paint. So it's a nice thick paint again. So this is the silk. So the same brand as I was using yesterday or day before, whatever it was, for the white. So I quite like the laziness of this ESP, I've got to be honest. You're probably going to see more of that. Me and my laziness. I'll have a look and see what other brands there are. If there's ones that are water based, I'll be going for that for sure. Right, so I've got my 38mm sleek brush. A few people from overseas have asked me if you can get these overseas, in the US and Canada. I believe you can order them and get delivered there, but I also know that there's some DIY flippers, some furniture flippers that are thinking about stocking them, so I'll keep you updated on that. Oh, this is lovely. Less green, I'd say, than the Bayberry. More of a taupe, I guess. Nice coverage. Right, I'll speed you up, guys, so you can see how it goes on. Right, 2 coats of paint and she's done. And I'm not going to lie, there's a very good chance that this one won't see the marketplace because the colour is stunning. Even so, I did, let's see if you can have a closer look. So this is 2 coats, and even the second coat I used the mister, so the coverage is sensational. It is amazing. There's some touch-up areas I need to do in here that I'm going to go around with a little pointy brush, but it's just gorgeous. And like I said, that's with me using the mister as well. So I still haven't decided what I'm going to do with the top, but for now let's just get smooth sanding. And for the smooth sand, I will be using the same sander, my Bosch, and a 240 grit. Right, in my true lazy fashion, this lip here looks a little bit bigger than on the bedside, so I'm just going to see if I can do it without taping it. I might live and learn, or I might just live. I never seem to learn much. So I've decided on Washed Away in the colour How Now. So this is lighter than the one I did on the bedsides, and I've got a little bit left in this one, so I'll be using that. It lasts for ages. I used these on bedsides a while ago, and at that time I didn't think I had enough to do that, but I did, and I've still got some left. So Dixie Belle Gator Hide Sponge. Oh, I love this colour. Yeah, see, I've got just a little bit extra height there, and I just want to put this light coat on. I don't want it dark. I'm just really bringing out the natural tones in this coat, this top, because it's really beautiful. You know, people worry when they find veneer, but honestly, most pieces you work on are veneer. Certainly of this, you know, the era that I tend to work on mostly, 70s and 80s furnitures, heaps of veneer. Doesn't mean it's not workable. It just means you've got to be careful. It's gorgeous, isn't it? Those 2 tones together. You can see it well in there. You have such really good work time with this one, and it doesn't, I was going to say it doesn't stain, that's a silly statement, but it doesn't, you just have got time to manipulate it a lot more. It doesn't soak in and then make it not movable. Here come those words I make up. Well, movable's not a made up word, is it? It's not the right word to use. What do you think, guys? Are you liking it? Oh, I've sent a few messages, invited people to the new Facebook group. There's quite a few of you in there already, which is great. That's going to probably free me up a lot, because I get lots of PMs, and as much as I love chatting to everyone, if I chatted to everyone I wouldn't get any furniture or videos done. So I'm hoping that you guys can chat amongst yourself as well as with me, so that we can all learn from each other. And the good thing is that Ursula, that I'm always saying should have a YouTube channel of her own, is in there. So she has awesome tips. I might make her an admin or something, actually. I probably should ask her that first. She's really good. I've learned heaps from her. Oh, I'm loving this. So Carts and Millie, How Now? Probably my favourite stain, I think, of any. So this one is available in Australia. I'm not sure about overseas. I'm sure Tanya, who's the owner, will be in the group at some point too, so she might be able to answer that question. It would be good. She's busy getting her kids off to school today, back to school. I don't miss those days. I used to, I was one of the strange ones. I didn't used to like it when the school holidays finished. I think possibly because I didn't want to get up in the mornings. It could have been that. What are you thinking, guys? Are you liking this? See the difference? I wonder why the bedsides, it must have just been such a low lip there. But this one, I'm not having that problem at all. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. I reckon I'm keeping these. Dead set. So probably you'll see on my Insta shortly a low boy painted in mustard. That is my current one that I'll just pass on. Probably. I suppose I should speak to my husband. But if I do that, it means I'm going to have to repaint my bedsides to match. That's alright. Doesn't take long, does it? Right. I'm stoked. Dead set stoked with these. Thank you, Dixie, Belle Silk. Thank you, Carts and Millie. I'm also going to put the Carts and Millie satin top coat on this, and I'll use the sponge. Yeah, I'll go and do that now. I'll just speed it up. You've already seen it a lot of times, but just for those that are new, I'll just speed it up and won't ramble. I promise. Good timing. It's just started raining. So let's get this sucker finished. So again, it's the same sponge. I just washed it out. Just squeeze it out so it's damp. Doesn't matter if it's damp or dry. Well done to me anyway. I don't know if it really matters. And you really don't need to put much on. Like again, I've put too much on this. And you shouldn't be taking it straight from the pot either. So this is just all the lazy things that I do, okay? You're always best to decant your paint and decant anything that you're using so you don't contaminate the pot. But as you know, I'm lazy. So I just roll with it. I need to stock up on this actually. This is my go-to for top coat and Purico eggshell. So I've only got half a pot of this left and I've got an eggshell left. So I'm going to have to do another order. And I've got 2 pots of this How Now, but I think I'm going to order some more because I love it. I wish you'd call it something different though, because How Now in my accent, it's a bit of a tough one. I sound like a bit of an idiot. I sound like I'm from Bristol. Bristol, to those who don't know that. Basically West Country. I sound like I'm from West Country, but I'm not. I'm from the border of England and Wales in the UK, but this is the accent. It's very West Country. My husband makes me say turnip all the time because he thinks it's funny. Look at that, I didn't speed it up. I'm sorry, I just rambled. I told you today I'd be a rambler. I don't know if I did tell you. When my body's a bit anxious, my voice tends to go with it. Anyway, next time you're going to see this, she'll be all dressed up for photos. I was going to say to go on the market, but I don't think she's going on the market. I think I'm keeping her. Okay, let's get her set up. Guys, all set up, ready for photos. And oh my god, I love her. I actually think this is probably the favourite, my favourite piece that I've ever done. I know I do get a little bit overexcited about stuff, I know, and there'll probably be many favourites. But at the moment, this is it, hands down. So I didn't touch the drawer pulls, they're just original. 2 coats of paint. I gave the drawers 3 coats of paint because they were a little bit more textured, so they needed it in the detailed areas. So the body is Dixie Belle Hampton Olive. Is that what it was? Hampton Olive? Olive Hampton. Let me go and grab it. I know you will have seen it, but there, Hampton Olive in the silk range. I didn't add a top coat because it's beautiful already, beautiful with it, and that's with me using the mister, so that's great. And the body just had 2 coats. The top is Carts and Millie How Now. Look at it, just look at it. And on top of that is the Carts and Millie satin top coat. I'm in love. I love her. I don't think I'm selling her. I think it'd be criminal if I sold her. I'd never find a piece like that again. Do you agree, or am I just being nuts? I can't keep everything, can I? But does she look good on me? She does look good on me, doesn't she? She fit in my house perfectly. Anyway, that's it. I want to take some photos. Thank you so much for watching again, guys. If you could like and subscribe, I would love you forever. Don't forget to head over to the Facebook page, which is Monolane Furniture Friends, and join there so that you guys can chat amongst yourself and share your work. Because I hate it when I keep going to say share your work with me in the comments and you can't in YouTube. So at least there we can chat on YouTube and you can show everything in Facebook. See you tomorrow. Bye.